Today I cowboyed up and the El Segundo here at the ranch, and I moved the herd, which is about 50 cows and 43 calves and 2 bulls, from their spring pasture to their summer pasture. And the summer pasture is 1,520 feet above us up on the mesa. And to get there, we had to take a very rocky, very steep trail that zigzags. And it is fucking frightening to be on a horse going up that trail, let alone beating and flogging cows and calves and bulls up that trail. Set up, cowboyed up, but of course I didn't man up. You know, I'm almost 49 years old. And you'd think that is not too old to be a cowboy. But just consider, I am basically made out of cheese, guacamole, and iced tea. And if you're made out of cheese, guacamole, and iced tea, you don't really make a good cowboy out of that. So we got maybe halfway up, and there's this little bench halfway up before the trail gets really super steep and starts to zigzag back and forth while the rocky boulders strewn across the trail all the rest of the way up. And the cows halfway up the trail, we've got me and El Segundo, the boss, behind the herd, trying our damnedest to scream them up that trail. And somewhere up there, 3 zigs, or 1 zig and 2 zags up there, a cow with a white face just turned around, parked her ass on the trail and said, "I ain't going no further." Of course, the whole thundering herd is behind her, and they don't know that she's blocking the trail. So they continue to laboriously stumble up the trail, screaming and bellowing. And they come to the block, and they can't get around her. So they kind of spread out and get off the trail, and they kind of go up the cliff and kind of teeter on their legs because of the pressure behind them. And some of them go down the trail, and some of them turn right back where they came, and 1 bull and 3 calves got by El Segundo. I don't know. All I heard was a yell saying, "Fucking shoot me! Just fucking shoot me!" And then he got off his horse and went on foot and got a stick and somehow managed to turn them around and get them beaten and flogged and screamed up that trail. And I was riding CJ, Cynthia Jane, and of course she is sopping wet, and she's, fucking tired, and she's sore, and she's huffing and she's puffing, and she's trying her damnedest to get these fucking cows up the trail. And the big huge bull, over 2,000 pounds, is in front of us, and we came to the clog, and we couldn't go anymore. So I asked CJ, well, just kind of shove this bull out of your way. And so I kicked her, and I kicked her some more, and she's kind of, she can't go forward, and she sure as hell can't go backwards because she'd stumble over the abyss. There's no way to go left, no way to go right. So I thought, well, maybe she can go forward and just kind of shove this big, huge, massive bull, up the trail. So I kicked her, and I kicked her, and I kicked her, and then I took the reins. I'm not too proud of this. And I slapped her about the head and neck, and I was yelling, "Come on, CJ, come on, CJ, push, CJ, push." She finally turned her head and stared at me in my eyeballs with this very sad, "I'm doing my best" kind of look. And I felt like, shit. So El Segundo still on his feet. The boss was still on his feet with his big stick. He was climbing off of the trail, climbing rocks and boulders, and every time he'd come across a cow that was off the trail, he'd take his big stick and he'd beats the cow and says, "Get up the fucking trail!" And he did twice the work that I did, of course. Of course, he's 20 years younger, and he's not made out of cheese, guacamole, and iced tea. Finally got the clog unclogged. The white-faced cow decided to turn around and keep going up the trail. And I got to my favorite part. There's a part in the trail that has a very sharp bend, the switchback. And at that switchback, there is nothing but open space, maybe 300 degrees, and you got that 60-degree turn. And if your cow doesn't, if a cow doesn't make it and the horse doesn't make it, they go plummeting 700 feet to the valley floor below. So I close my eyes when I come to that point, and I let the horse, figure out, how to get around that corner. And as far as I know, we didn't lose any cows. We counted them when we finally got up to the mesa. So now, everything in my body hurts. And I need a morphine IV drip. I just will never be a cowboy. And they'll be up there until the end of summer, late fall, and we'll drive them all back down the fucking trail again. And by that time, I'll be 49 years old. And I'll have eaten more cheese, more guacamole, and more iced tea.